MSPs are held hostage by urgent tasks more often than any kind of business owner that I've ever worked with, obviously due to the nature of your work. Now, how do you manage the urgent so you've always got time to get the important done? I have the answer. Hey, I'm Paul Green, and don't forget, for finding new clients for your MSP, we've created an easy-to-follow marketing system. Get that and all the content to go in it at mspmarketingedge.com. In 1954, US President Dwight D. Eisenhower laid out what he called the dilemma of modern man. I have two kinds of problems, he said, the urgent and the important. The urgent are not important, and the important are never urgent. Isn't that great? Isn't that absolutely spot on? And MSPs, more than any other kind of business owner, are trapped between the urgent and the important. The urgent is, of course, clients with their issues and problems that are stopping them from just getting on with their work. And the main reason they give you money is to eliminate these problems, right? So, of course, they're urgent. But then there's the important, and that's the stuff that you, as the business owner, need to do to grow the business. It's the working on the business, not in it. Urgent and important things are always in conflict. And after your first few years in business, you start to realize that this never ends, right? So how do you manage this conflict without going mad or working 100 hours a week and dying at your desk, which is not fun? So President Eisenhower, he's credited with creating something called the Eisenhower Matrix. Go and Google that so you can visually see that if you've not seen it before. And it's a way to figure out what to do with tasks. It's a very simple 4-square grid. You've got two axes. So the one at the top says simply urgent and not urgent. And the one down the left-hand side, it says important and not important. And the idea is that for each task that's sat waiting for you to do, you assess whether or not it's urgent and whether or not it's important. And by doing that, you automatically assign each task into one of 4 boxes, which tells you what to do with the task. So if it's important and urgent, then you do the task, right? If it's important but it's not urgent, then you schedule the task. If it's not important but it is urgent, then you delegate the task. And of course, this sits very well with hiring technicians to do all the technical work so that you don't have to. Because technical work, I know it's important because that's what the business does, but it doesn't mean that you, as the business owner or the manager of the MSP, has to personally do it. And then finally, if a task is not important and not urgent, you delete it. And yes, you really do delete it. You can't get everything done all the time. That's a fallacy. But what you can do is focus on the things that are most important. And sometimes you need to ignore tasks and never get them done. And if you have a problem with deleting a task, then do what I do. Just add it to a never-ending list of things that you know you're never going to get round to. I call mine the black hole. There are thousands of tasks in my black hole, going back, 10, 15 years or something like that. So in my mind, I never delete a task. It goes in the black hole, and it's still there. It's just I acknowledge and accept I'm never actually going to get round to doing that. MSPs are held hostage by urgent tasks much more often than any other kind of business that I've ever worked with. How do you manage the urgent so that you always have time to get the important things done?
Paul Green's MSP Marketing Edge.